You goddamn traitor! You frickin' bastard! Open this goddamn door! You're gonna regret it even more if you don't open this frickin' door now! Whoa, what the hell? If you push any harder, Doomswork, the door's gonna break!
Trouble Busters!
Hi there, my name's Everett, and I'm an ordinary officeman fresh out of college. And something about my life's pretty different, and it's not in a good way, not in the slightest. Hey Everett, I got some more work for you to do. By tomorrow, mind. But I still don't know how to do this kind of work very well, Mr. Director, sir. There's no way I can get all of this done by tomorrow. Shut your loud mouth. It's your job to pipe down and get the work done with nothing but sweat, spit, and grit, ain't it? If you can't do it by tomorrow as instructed, your pay will be cut by half. Understand? That's not fair! You have now seen a glimpse of my little slice of hell. As you can see, I work for what is a perfect example of what's called a black enterprise. It's become an axiomatic routine that I stay at work until it's time to board the last train. And on weekdays, I consider it a miracle if I get any sleep at all. But if I quit so early on in my career, it'll be nothing but a chink in the armor that is in my resume. So I muscled up the strength to keep on working this nightmarish job for at least a year. However, what a goddamn day. This can't be right. Yearly pay of $10,000? Yep, you heard right. It was right around the time that New Year updates were rolling in. And I'd realized that my pay for the entire year, with extra work included, was a mere $10,000. To put into perspective, that's about the same as a part-time convenience store clerk who works 4 hours a day at $9 an hour. In other words, it was like I wasn't even working a proper job. While I did know that the pay of this particular job wouldn't be at all good in the first place, the fact that every day was so busy, and that the year had taken a massive toll on my mental strength made me ignorant to the specific amount of money that was being deposited into my account. This is just astounding, and it made my situation so much worse. My heart, like a fragile, dead stick, cleanly broke in half. Perhaps even more cleanly than a stick. More like the tiniest twig, actually. Well, who gives a damn about that shit? In any case, I was gonna leave the Enterprise after a year. At first, the director and my own boss said all sorts of things to me, on a number of levels of nastiness. But perhaps because I was still a fresh college graduate, easily replaceable, I was able to leave the job a lot more easily than I'd thought. The meeting literally took no longer than 5 minutes. But the obvious question was what to do after I got myself out of that infernal job. Of course, I don't have much of anything at the moment, so I had to find a new job, and fast. I decided I should go to the local public employment security office. I waited, a trembling bundle of nerves, for a short while, until my number was displayed, which was almost immediately. Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh, the pleasure's all ours, sir. Thank you very much for coming to us. Now, the first item of business. Please tell me what kind of job you're looking for. Its genre, more specifically. It can be construction, office work, cooking jobs, or anything else.
What kind of job? That's honestly quite a hard question to answer. I guess I don't care what it is, as long as the pay is better than what my previous job offered.
And what was the yearly wage of your previous job, sir?
Oh, about $10,000, give or take.
Pardon me, sir, but are you a job hopper of sorts?
No, I'm not. I used to be a legitimate full-time employee.
What? Are you shitting me right now? A full-time employee, I see. You don't mean to tell me your yearly wages of $10,000 included bonuses and extra work, did you?
As far as I know, it doesn't seem to be the case. Believe me, I double and triple checked, because I was certain it was only a bad dream. But it wasn't. I don't blame the kind clerk for thinking I must have been kind of a job hopper. I mean, that kind of pay truly is unbelievable for a full-time employee. Needless to say, she was so surprised she nearly fell from her chair. And then, when she recovered, her expression slowly but surely transformed into one of malicious suspicion.
And what was the name of this workplace?
It was called Darkened Nightmares Incorporated. Catchy name if you ask me. Dark, brooding, ominous. Certainly something that stirs something within my dark, fantasy-loving heart.
I see. I can now confirm your yearly wages, including bonuses and pay for extra hours, amounted to exactly $10,000. And this is unacceptable.
I agree with you 100%. That's precisely why I left that job and why I find myself here, asking for some of your help.
About this strange matter, may I ask that you leave me to it?
What? excuse me, I don't understand what you mean.
It's nothing complicated. All I'm saying is that I do think it's time we initiate trouble busters here.
Trouble busters? I was having lots of trouble understanding her train of thoughts here, but I decided to leave everything to Miss Clayton, the kind woman helping me out. Something about her aura spewed total confidence, and that somehow reassured me that everything was going to be alright. And the very next day, since I didn't have much money, I was surviving by eating bags of instant noodles, and as I was enjoying a particularly nice one for lunch at home, someone started to pound on my door non-stop with their whole fist. In a small panic, I rushed to the door and peeked through the peephole, only to find the one and only Director Doomsworth, the very same director of my old job, and his face was redder than the reddest tomato known to mankind.
Everett, you bastard! Get out here this instant!
It being a small apartment and all, I think a conversation can easily be done through the front door, thank you very much. Sir, why must I come out? Is something the matter?
I'm here to punish you fair and square for the load of bullshit you caused us. Get the frick out of here now!
Hey, yo, punishment? But I didn't do anything, sir.
Liar! There's only one person that could have been the source of that stupid turn of events, and that bastard is you, Everett!
That stupid turn of events? What do you mean, sir?
Today, people from the Labor Standards Office showed up on our doorstep. They said that they'd heard insider information about the environment of the company, and that they'd like to hear more details.
Oh, so that's what this is all about.
I interrogated every single one of our employees, and they all told me they'd never dream of blabbing to the authorities. Which only leaves your bitch ass, the idiot who had the guts to quit his job after a single year, as the only possible culprit.
Is that so? Well, I mean, it's not like I don't know what you're talking about, actually.
I frickin' knew it was you! You crackhead moron got no right to meddle with our glorious business! I'll make you pay. Mark my words!
At this point, I pretty much understood through and through what Miss Clayton did for me when she asked me to leave her with the case, and I realized that I could finally have my revenge on the company who'd done unspeakable things to me. Now I understand what Miss Clayton was talking about. It's time to put a stop to the reign of terror of that stupid enterprise, and of that diabolical director. Troublebusters, initiate! You'll excuse me, Director Doomsworth, but what exactly do you mean by meddling with glorious business?
Do you really not get it? Do I really have to explain things to you? This is why you're at the bottom of the food chain, you lousy maggot!
I'll have you know, it's not like I went to them to complain about how bad my old job was. Even I know an employee wouldn't want to bring an entire company down to rubble, and render a lot of people without jobs and salaries to survive out here.
But then, why?
After I left work, a few days later, I went to the local public employment security office to look for a good job. And so naturally, things would snowball from basic questions like what exactly I'm looking for and stuff like that, to questions about my old job. Like, what exactly was the work I did there, and how much was I paid for that work, and other stuff like that. I did what every decent civilian does, and told them the truth.
Then why did the frickin' Labor Standards Office people show up out of the blue?
I suppose the person who was helping me out that day thought it was unacceptable when she'd heard my story. Wouldn't you agree, sir? She was utterly shell-shocked when she discovered my yearly wages.
But that doesn't change the fact that you're responsible for our terrible situation right now. The hell you think you're doing? Thanks to you, our reputation is completely ruined, and I'm gonna hold you responsible for the doom you brought to us all.
But you heard it here first. All I ever did was tell the kind woman the truth about my former job. I don't think that's anything worthy of any kind of punishment. It's not at all like I went to that establishment for the sole purpose of exposing that enterprise. Perish the thought, sir. Please.
But what's been done has been done. It's no excuse. I'm gonna sue you. You're gonna give me the compensation I deserve after suffering the consequences of your stupid actions.
And if you think that's gonna happen, you must have a screw loose. Because I know I didn't do anything wrong in this matter. Unless you're a deranged person who believes that people who tell the truth are demonic sociopaths.
How dare you, you goddamn bitch! You never did your job well anyway. And yet now you think you're atop the podium, looking far and wide over the sufferings of lesser men because of your selfish acts of treason, smiling all the while?
I'm not a goddamn dictator. And I never did my job well, huh? Well, of course I didn't! There's no frickin' way a college graduate would be able to do such work without ever learning the basics first! I can't tell you how many times I asked my boss to teach me how to do the work. And when did he actually teach me? Never! I was always so stressed over what I had to do. And the pay didn't make things better at all. It made my personal life really miserable. What do you expect me to do now? A full-time employee of an enterprise finds a way to cope with it, no matter how desperate the situation seems. Don't you dare blame other people for your own lack of effort in your job. It's literally like talking to a jellyfish. I think it's best if you go home now, Doomsworth. And if you think a little scolding and bashing will set me straight and get me to pay you, well then, you, sir, are gravely mistaken. My conscience praised me with the loudest chorus of hallelujah in my head. Boy, did I feel so good about finally standing up for myself against that tyrant. I was able to say everything I wanted to say, and Doomsworth really did go back home without anything more to say. So this victory was amazing. Mission accomplished. Well done, Everett. Or so I thought.
You goddamn traitor! You frickin' bastard! Open this goddamn door! You're gonna regret it even more if you don't open this frickin' door now!
Whoa, what the hell? If you push any harder, Doomsworth, the door's gonna break! As you would expect, the director got even more furious. He started to charge at the door and fidgeting with a knob to pry it open. It was an old door, so it was only a matter of time before it shattered. I had nowhere to run, nor did I have a good place to hide. I had no idea what he'd do to me if he caught me. It was hopeless. I knew I was going to die, but then I was blessed with a couple saviors.
Hey, you! Just what do you think you're doing?
And who the frick are you bitches?
I'm Brianna Clayton, whom Mr. Everett here came to for help in finding a new job. I found a good lawyer for him, so I thought I would stop by myself and pay my respects, only to find this nice surprise already at his door.
A lawyer, you say?
Indeed. And may I introduce Miss Simone Evans, head of Evans Law Firm downtown? Hello. I've been observing you for some time now, and I've also taken the liberty of recording some of the footage. What exactly were you doing, sir?
This is just a test to see how steady this door is. Everett here is a good friend of mine, and he asked me to help him reinforce his old door of his, you see.
Oh, yes. Did I mention that observing people is a hobby of mine? And perhaps you didn't hear what I said previously. I took the liberty of recording everything you were doing to Mr. Everett's door from start to finish.
You recorded me?
Yes, indeed. This could very well be solid evidence for attempted physical threat, you see, Mr. Doomsworth. I'm fairly certain.
What? What do you mean by physical threat, Miss Evans? I was merely handling the door with caution, you see.
Handling the door with caution, you say? I must say you're not a very good liar, Mr. Doomsworth. You're gonna regret it even more if you don't open this freaking door. Now! Do you really think, in your honest heart, that you were handling this situation with caution when you were clearly yelling at Mr. Everett with a voice loud enough for the entire block to hear? I suggest you do the human thing here, Mr. Doomsworth, and accept your defeat.
What's with that? What the hell is that stupid maniacal laugh?
In layman's terms, do you really want to pursue your useless cause and pile on your crimes, Mr. Doomsworth? If you really do understand what's going on here, get the frick out of our sight.
Of course.
Soon after, Mr. Doomsworth left with his shoulders slumped forward and his stride slow and sad apparently. And then, Miss Clayton strongly recommended I bring the Enterprise to court. I listened to her and decided to go through with it, hiring Miss Evans, whom Miss Clayton had brought along with her to be my lawyer in shining armor, so to speak. The results were amazing! I won the court case with Miss Evans by my side, and I was to receive the appropriate wages, with additional bonuses and extra hours paid too. And there was a compensation for assorted things on top of that. Later on, that same company, Darkened Nightmares Incorporated, went bankrupt and disappeared from existence. It seems that as a culmination of its reputation becoming ever more infamous amidst other companies of the same business domain, and with me as the first case to go public, a bunch of other people who'd also suffered under its reign of tyranny all collectively launched lawsuits against Doomsworth and his company, demanding compensation for their mistreatment and stuff like that. But no matter. See if I care what happens to a company like that. I take back what I said earlier about never bringing a company down to rubble. The happiness and security of the employees is paramount in a company. and companies who don't offer the best for those who work for it don't deserve to exist at all. Later on, with the help of Miss Clayton, I was able to find a job that I wanted to do, and nowadays, I'm very happy with my life. Trouble Busters!